While our markets were closed yesterday, the global markets were up and buzzing, and I'm going to take you through exactly that. Let's start by taking a look at what the US markets were up to, and quite literally up to, because stellar moves coming in across the US markets. Now, S&P 500 futures were near flat last night after winning day on Wall Street as investors geared up for the May retail sales data. Those moves follow a positive session on Wall Street that propelled the S&P 500 higher by nearly 0.8%. NASDAQ has finished with a gain of almost 1%. Both these indices continue to reach all-time highs. They continue to scale new highs coming as well. 30-stock Dow has advanced about 0.5% to end 4 days of losses. So reverse momentum coming in for Dow. Good moves over there as well. Tech stocks have performed well in the session, helping the tech-heavy NASDAQ outperform and aid the broader S&P 500's rise as well. Broadcom climbed more than 5%. Apple has jumped 2%. Nvidia touched an all-time intraday record as State Street said that the chipmaker would likely see a weighting of more than 20% in the rebalance of its popular exchange-traded fund focused on tech. But the stock rolled over, ending the day down 0.7%. Despite that pullback, shares are still nearly up 165% on the year. That's Nvidia for you. Looking ahead, investors will closely watch retail sales data for May due Tuesday morning for insights into the health of the consumer. Now, economists polled by the Dow Jones forecasted growth of 0.2% from April. Other economic reports on topics like industrial production and business inventories are also expected this morning. Several Fed Reserve officials, including Boston Fed President Susan Collins, you have Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin, they're expected to speak at events across the country throughout the day, so lots of commentary to watch out for as well. So, well, that was largely the US. Dow 0.5% higher, S&P 0.8% higher, NASDAQ almost 1% higher. Shifting focus, let's talk about Europe. Slightly mixed moves coming in over here because DAX, remember, this counter was under pressure all throughout last week, is up 0.4%. FTSE, however, has closed nominally in the red, less than 0.1%, a 4-point cut coming in for FTSE, as flat as it could be, but with a slight negative bias. And Stock 600, however, has closed flat on the positive side, less than 1% rise coming in, so absolutely flat but with a slight positive bias. That's where your Stock 600 is. Shifting focus, let me also take you through what's been happening in the world of crude oil, and as of now, WTI at 80.35, above that $80 per barrel mark, and Brent also very close to 85 at $84.3 per barrel mark. That's where Brent is. Now let's take a look at what's been up with crude. US crude oil rose more than 2% yesterday to top that $80 per barrel mark, adding to last week's gains. WTI surged nearly 4% last week, snapping a 3-week decline and its best weekly performance since early April. And oil prices are rising on expectations that summer fuel demand will draw down inventories and tighten the market in the third quarter. Uncertainty over China's economy and growth in oil demand has long hung over the market. Now, OPEC expects the Chinese economy to grow 4.8% this year, acting as a primary driver of crude consumption in the developing world. The Paris-based International Energy Agency, however, has revised its global oil demand outlook on the lower side, citing some softness in China. Demand growth in China slowed from 800,000 barrels per day in the first quarter to 95,000 barrels per day in April. This is according to the IEA. As a result of this, the global oil demand growth will come in at 960,000 barrels per day this year, about 100,000 barrels per day lower than what was forecast previously, according to the agency. This is largely what's been happening with oil as well. Let me also lastly take you through what's been happening with gold. Gold, as of now, looking pretty solid, up 0.3% at 2,336 almost dollars per ounce is where gold is as of now. With that, let's also take a look at what's going to.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.